Welcome to Love to See It, a podcast about where men get the audacity, like just to be the way that they are, to do the things that they do.
The men that we are speaking about, of course, are the men of Perfect Match Season 3. And we are here today to discuss episodes 7 through 9. Luckily,
Yeah,
it's not a drop of 6 episodes this week.
I can barely handle 3 episodes of this much depravity. This is really just going to be an opportunity for me to walk back every positive thing I've said about a man on this podcast.
I know we always suffer when we give a man credit, and yet we never learn.
I'm like, I don't want to be a misandrist. Maybe he does have a point. 1 episode later, I'm so sorry. Should never have given him the benefit of the
What a
doubt.
bad take I had. So before we get into it, a little housekeeping. We have an episode about all of the recent Love Island gossip, including Kenny and Janae's breakup, Louis Russell allegedly dating Huda Mustafa, and all of the drama that has surrounded that potential relationship. All of that is coming in an episode at the end of the week on Rich Text. We simply did not have space for it on Love to See It. So if you want to hear our thoughts on all of that, you can subscribe at clarentemma.substack.com.
All right, we do actually have to get into some gossip, though. We have to get into some perfect match gossip to start because Clayton went on a press tour, and I'm so mad that I just like can't keep talking about perfect match without discussing what he's been out here saying.
Look, so often people go on press tours when they're like a year out from a show, and they are just thoughtful and
Yeah.
self-reflective
Circumspect.
and have a good sense of humor about the things that happened. None of that is true for Clayton. Somehow he came off worse in the 2 interviews that I've listened to that he's done than he did on the actual show.
Well, the incredible thing, he went on Dear Shandy, and I think the interview took place before the first drop aired. And then after the first drop aired, he taped an interview with the Vile Files. And while there are certain differences in these interviews, because he does come to realize that people will not be on his side by the second interview, like both of the hosts, like they're pressing him on like maybe there's a good place that you're a crazy action came. Maybe like you made this terrible choice out of like noble reasoning, and he keeps being like, no,
No,
no, I did it.
no,
I
no, it
did it for
wasn't.
myself, and that was the right thing to do, and I have no
And
regrets.
and everything that I did was meant to be, and everything I will ever do is meant to be.
Yeah,
So how could it be wrong? Also,
no,
Rachel was a little too emotional in her reactions.
yeah, too much, a little too
Sir,
much from Rachel.
sir,
I. It's
sir.
really crazy how like any sort of generosity you might have cultivated toward him before listening, being like maybe this all came from good intentions. He just like painstakingly shoots those down in these interviews, and you're left with only the least flattering interpretations.
I
Um,
was
so
floored.
so on Dear Shandy, he did talk to them before it aired, and he's so confident that people are going to see his point of view that he actually kind of like won over Charlene and Andy. I think Andy's more receptive to his point of view. But by the end they're all kind of like, "Yeah, I think people will see your point of view. Like you were in a no-win situation. Like if you hadn't coupled with her, people would say, why didn't you give her a chance to be in the house? And if you did, then it hurts her feelings for you to end it. You really did the best you could from the best of intentions."
I feel like Charlene was trying so hard to press him, and as a people pleaser, I it's really difficult to remain in opposition to an interview
Yeah.
subject for the
Especially
entirety of an interview.
Especially someone you relate to so much, because as we've learned from this press tour, Clayton suffers from being a people pleaser, and for that reason, he has to keep doing hurtful things to people.
And then
Uh,
saying, I don't understand your point of view at all. Why are you being so
you
emotional?
don't understand. He grew up in a home full of boys, and he was a people pleaser, and sometimes he was smaller than other people, and so he simply can't help himself.
I don't know. I really just all three, like Charlene, Natalie, and Nick, all repeatedly in these interviews say, well, have you thought about it from this perspective?
Yeah.
Did you think ahead to consider what the impact might be
No,
on Rachel?
not really. Yeah, there are certain things that they pressed him on that I thought were really telling. Like on Dear Shandy, Charlene points out, like, oh, you seemed really caught up on the meaningfulness of the coincidence of Rachel showing up and whether it was sort of meant to be in some sense. Don't didn't you think about how certainly that was production that engineered that? And so maybe what you were attributing to sort of the fates was just sort of production trying to set up a dramatic scenario. And he doesn't even seem to really understand what she's saying. He's like, well, I just didn't worry about what producers wanted or expected because that wasn't relevant to what I wanted to do. And I'm like, well, but you were basing some of your reasoning on how meaningful it must be that the Lord put you there
Right.
together or whatever, the fates or whatever. So it is actually relevant what you think production was trying to do because if you're not attributing that setup to production, then you're attributing it to like the heavens want you to fall in love, which led you into a very bad situation. So what do you mean it doesn't matter what production was thinking? It's like he doesn't understand the point that she's trying to
No,
make.
no. There are some points that people are making in these interviews that are just not
They're flying right.
penetrating the noggin.
They're flying right over the hair. And he says that he was very careful to tell Rachel, he emphasizes this a lot in the Vile Files interview, that he was very careful to tell her that he couldn't be sure what would happen. Like he couldn't promise anything. And he was also careful not to be affectionate. So they just cuddled in bed and didn't kiss. Does he think that cuddling is not being affectionate? Do you cuddle with your, like, cuddling is actually a very
Cuddling is intimate and
intimate
affectionate. And
romantic
yes, you can
activity.
do that with friends. But if you've just agreed to explore a romantic connection, I might read that romantically.
I generally don't cuddle in bed with my platonic male friends. Like if I'm cuddling in bed with a man, it is romantic and it is
At this point in my
affectionate.
life, yes.
I never like if I've ever cuddled with a guy, it has always like I think that that is a very common association with cuddling. If you are cuddling
Yeah,
with
no,
someone
again,
uh,
it's
in that
silly to even
scenario,
discuss this because
right?
it's
It feels
so
dumb.
obvious that he was giving the impression that he was genuinely open to exploring a romantic connection. And then within a matter of 12 hours, he did a complete about face. And he doesn't seem to understand that that is what is so jarring. And that Rachel's reaction is not that she's so emotionally invested in being with him, but that she's bearing the weight of like this now being the third time that he has humiliated her on television.
Right. The third time that he's like convinced her that he might pick her and then abruptly, humiliatingly
Right.
dumped
Like that
her
is
on
embarrassing. You're
camera.
going to have a reaction to it.
Yeah. On the
I was
Vile
just
Files, he
floored.
compares it to like when you run into an ex at a bar and the feelings flood back. And Nick points out to his credit that that's a scenario that usually is more likely to happen when you're like 20. And like by the time you're 30, maybe you have the emotional maturity and insight to say, like, just because I'm having all these feelings, seeing my ex doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean we should get back together. I have enough experience to understand that this is just what happens when I re-encounter someone from my past. But I would also say that it is different that it happened on camera. Like, if you ran into Rachel at a party and hooked up with her, or like you guys spent the night having a deep conversation, she might be hurt, but I have to think the the pain is really accentuated and amped up by the fact that she knows that
It's
she is once
public.
again publicly on camera and she is taking heat for doing for letting this happen to her again. You know, she was humiliated. She was set up to be criticized as like making poor choices, as giving him too many chances, and then immediately like exposed in this way by him on camera. The cameras matter here. Like it's a public humiliation that you subjected her to.
Yes, he just doesn't seem to get it. And I found it very frustrating to
Yeah.
listen to him rationalize these things.
Charlene asked if he considered just matching as friends, that it wouldn't be as hurtful if he decided the romantic element wasn't there. And he says he did not. Why would he consider that? He just didn't think about it. I'm like, if
I
you're
think
really trying to be
there's
careful, you could just be like, hey, I don't know if there's the right match for me in the house with Juliet. I'd really love to give you a chance to take part in this experience. Why don't we match up as friends? We'll get more time to
right.
catch up. You can see what's going on in the house. No, it didn't occur to him.
I mean, there are just so many things that he could have done to mitigate the situation. He also makes these like oblique comments on the Vile Files about how his lifestyle didn't match up to Rachel and there were things she
Mm.
said, but he also didn't indicate those disconnects to Rachel and he also won't speak on them because Rachel wouldn't take it well, which
Yeah.
is such a condescending way to put it.
And the way he's putting it out there that he's trying to be very careful, but everything that he says is extremely freighted with insinuation about what he means, which is he is
Right.
judging the kind of person she is. He is judging her lifestyle. If he told her about it, she would feel attacked. I wonder why she'd feel attacked. It sounds like you're going to say something pretty negative about her. Like he says, maybe he's not the person to deliver that news to her. She just has to learn over time.
That is
That
so
sounds like you think that
condescending.
she has some fucking learning to do because the way that she is not okay and she's going to figure that out with
You know what?
time.
I think you have some learning to do, Clayton.
I don't think that Clayton is capable of learning certain things at this point. Like I am so over this. These two podcasts
Smashed
left
the
me.
goodwill.
I was like
Smashed the goodwill I had for him.
lightheaded by the end of the Vile File. I was like, do you not hear the aspersions you're casting on her and you think you're being noble? But all that's coming through is that you think she's not as good as you. You won't tell us exactly why. You won't tell her exactly why. Because you're afraid of her reaction. But
Yeah,
you'll say enough that we can all
he even admits that the intuition thing was a cover for these things that she said that he apparently didn't like or didn't
right.
approve of. I mean, just absolutely wild. And he does not really seem able to self-reflect and say, you know what? Maybe I should have made a different decision. Maybe I should have framed this in a different way. Like, we all make decisions in the spur of the moment, and sometimes they aren't correct. I think it's a fairly easy thing to say, looking back, there are things I could have done to maybe mitigate the harm. And I understand why she was upset. And I'm like, I'm sorry that I caused that. And that definitely wasn't my intention because I was trying to be careful. And he can't even really do that because he seems so tied to this belief that everything happens for a reason. And therefore, every choice he makes is inherently good and right.
It's interesting how that applies to him, but not to other people. Like when he makes a choice that really hurts Rachel, what other choice could he have made? He says, yeah, he literally says, like, I believe the actions I take are the ones I was meant to take. Tears will be shed, things will happen, emotions will be brought up. How can you perfectly navigate that? That's how he describes his own missteps that have hurt people. When Rachel has a strong reaction, like a lot of tears, he doesn't seem to see it that way. He's like, implying very strongly that she is to blame for fan backlash, that her
Yes.
reaction was too strong, that it was out of
He's like,
pocket.
I thought it had been 3 years. We've only
Right.
been there for
How was
24
I supposed to
hours.
predict that reaction? And if she had reacted more calmly, if she had said, "Well, thank you for telling me. I understand." I don't think people would be so upset. So like it seems like maybe there is a right way and a wrong way for Rachel to act, and she did the wrong thing. It's everything he does that's meant to be. It's like
Correct. It's his screensaver, and you're not allowed to make fun of him for that.
I will make fun of
I
whatever the
will.
fuck I want at this point. This is,
That's why I have a podcast.
we have like over the years gone through a journey with Clayton. We had a lot of critiques when he was on The Bachelor. We felt that the fan backlash was really brutal for him. We didn't think that he was a malicious person. We saw his mental health journey. We talked to him about it. We saw what he went through with this, fake pregnancy scam that he was
Which was
victim to, which was
horrible.
horrible. And so we've come to feel a lot of empathy toward Clayton. And I just, like, don't know how much of that is left right now because this was shocking to me. The
I
lack of empathy
just
that he has for Rachel, the blame that he
That's the
puts on
thing.
her, the unwillingness to put blame on himself because he has to give himself grace. There was no way that he could know that he was going to hurt her feelings. But she is supposed to always predict what's right for him and make sure to
Right,
protect
and
him.
also assume the best of intentions from him, but he doesn't seem to assume the best of intentions on her part. It's just yeah, it's like that empathy. You should have empathy for yourself. You should be able to forgive yourself. It is really difficult to be in the public eye and receive a ton of backlash. And I do have empathy for Clayton that he has experienced some really tough shit. But that should make you actually like that should make you have more grace for Rachel. If you've experienced this and you know she has also experienced it. She also was the lead of The Bachelorette and dealt with a ton of feedback from the fan base that was oftentimes negative during that experience. Like, he just cannot see outside of himself, and that is very frustrating to witness.
Yeah. At points during especially the Dear Shandy interview when he's talking about how he has no regrets and he's the way he was meant to be. He's not a people pleaser anymore. He's not meant to be liked. He's meant to be a mirror, etc. I was like, did he get overly inoculated against self-flagellation by his post-bachelor therapy? Like,
Yes.
I understand that it's like very hard to cope with the fact that so many people have such strong critiques of your behavior, but that doesn't mean that you have always done the right thing and that any feedback you get should be dismissed out of hand.
Right. No, there needs to be a balance. Like, you don't have to punish yourself forever. I completely agree with that. You should learn to like create a boundary between yourself and the public. And also you are allowed to add context that we didn't see, which is like an inherent part of reality television. But
Yeah,
that doesn't mean that everything you do is inherently good and that your actions can't also harm other people.
right. Exactly. Like the accountability portion, the self-reflection portion, the thinking about how you do it differently next time. Like he says he has developed so much emotional intelligence through therapy, but none of that is on display. I think Charlene even points out like you repeat the same exact pattern where
Right.
you act on impulse and then that leads like one or two steps later to you really devastating someone emotionally because you didn't think through what the effects might be for them if you were wrong. And so it seems like no emotional intelligence has been gained from the intervening time. It seems like there's been no growth. You're doing exactly the same harmful things. And what's worse, now you seem to think that you don't need to learn from that. You seem to think that that's fine. It's actually like anti-growth. Like he's regressed. Like therapy is bad, maybe. I don't know. Don't let men go to therapy. Cause then, oh, this was the real cherry on top. At the end of the Vial Files interview, they bring up that he unfollowed Rachel this week. And he says, well, that's because I thought in the house that we had made up. I apologized to her. She actually apologized to me. They didn't show you that, but she apologized to me. We were
Okay.
good. We'd hung out even after filming. We all hung out. And then we went to do pickups where they taped those interviews, right?
Which, yes, that is a part of being on a reality television show.
And after filming, she taped an interview that we saw where she said that she wanted a man who was like kind and treated her well or like took care of her, the opposite of Clayton. And that really hurt his feelings because he thought they were good. She told him they were good. So why would she say something like that about him in an
Clayton.
interview? She knows people will take her side when she says that. Like it's so unfair. Like the to be self-victimizing at this point. Like for one thing, she's in an interview, she's supposed to be responding as if she's in the moment. Like those are not supposed to be these like dry, unemotional commentaries. She's supposed to be kind of providing insight into her mindset.
Right. It's
Secondly,
narration. Like they do it on every Bravo show. Those are never
right.
filmed in the moment.
Secondly, just because you guys are good doesn't mean that you were kind and took care of her, treated her well. She
Right.
still needs
You
someone who will
objectively
treat her
didn't.
differently in a relationship than you did. She still needs that. So, like, what did she say that was wrong?
Also, I will say that in Rachel's interview on the Vial Files, she was critical and expressed, her feelings about the situation, but she was largely like very kind to Clayton.
She did not go nearly as hard as she could have after the way that he behaved. And so for him to act like the victim
It
and like
is
his feelings aren't being considered because she would say that. Meanwhile, he said things about her in some of his talking heads that were also quite hurtful, like that he never saw the chemistry between them the way other people did.
right.
But that was poorly stated and misunderstood. And so it's not really a big deal. His intentions were good. His intentions are always good. And it keeps circling back to this. And both like Charlene and Andy and like Nick and Natalie did keep circling back to this, although Natalie, like, I enjoyed that she like really seems to hate Clayton at this point. But like it keeps circling back to this idea that, well, he's not a bad guy. His intentions are good. Like he means well. And I don't really believe that that's meaningfully true anymore, because what I see is the same thing that most shitty people have inside, which is not actively malicious intentions. Like I get off on hurting people. Most people are not coming from that place. But a lot of people that we see as pretty shitty are coming from a place of not caring about other people. They're selfish. They're focused on what it's going to mean for them. They're not thinking through the impact it's going to have on other people. And that is the mindset that he is meticulously describing at length. So, like, I don't understand why I'm supposed to give him so much grace for not intentionally going in there to emotionally torture Rachel. He didn't give a fuck. He didn't try to protect her in any meaningful way. And he wants credit for having like the best of intentions. You didn't have the best of intentions.
You had selfish intentions, and maybe not like by design, but I just don't think it seems that he's like not really capable of seeing outside of his own experiences. And like that sucks. And it also makes for an absolutely infuriating interview.
Yeah.
On that note, we're going to take a quick break. And when we get back, we will get into episodes 7 through 9 of Perfect Match.
And we're back. So we pick up episode 7 where we left off. It's Boys' Day Out, and AD has arrived with all the single women to spoil the naughty fun.
Like the men wanted to just like cheat in peace, but now their mean mommy is here.
Yeah, it's so unfair. Like, and a mean mommy is really like any woman you've known for more than a week.
Yeah.
Right? Like, once you've known a man for more than a week, he will start to see you as mean mommy. That's my takeaway from this show.
If you've known a woman for more than a week and you haven't had sex with her.
No, even if you've had sex with her.
Maybe even if you
literally,
have.
Ollie was like, oh no, mean mommy is here. Like, that was his mindset too. And like,
true.
She shows up, they're all like toasting to away games and being like, we needed this. Like, you've been on a vacation with a hottie you met 8 days ago. Like, is this a hard labor sentence? What are you talking about? Like, you don't deserve anything. You don't need anything.
No, they need their shiny new toys.
She's not new enough anymore. Like, now she's mommy.
Now she has like feelings and like she talks.
The minute a woman has expectations of you of any kind, that's a mommy. There are two kinds of relationships: hot woman who offers you threesomes, and your mommy. Your mommy thinks that you should not cheat on her. Your mommy thinks that you should give her, the last seat on the sofa.
Or like the basic respect of not screaming at her, for example.
Right. Your mommy is like, don't scream at me. So the reminder about the single ladies, we haven't met all of them yet, but they've all been on the board. We have Alex from Temptation Island, Olivia from Temptation Island, Juliet from Siesta Key, one of the OG cast, QT from The Circle and Battle Camp, Hannah from The Mole, and of course, AD is now one of the bombshells because she and Ollie were forced to break up. So Louis has an idea. He's like, I'm going to neutralize the threat of AD by pulling her for a chat and telling her that I should just get to kiss people. Because like the thing about me is that like kissing for me is just like, it's like a bit of energy, it's just like energy.
I thought that Louis hated kissing other people because
Right.
germs.
I thought it was like a bit of germs, and now you're telling me it's a bit of energy, and it's good actually. It's almost like when Sandy was there and she was going to get to kiss people, you thought that kissing people was disgusting. But now that she's not there, it's lifeblood. You need it to survive. And he's like, if I do kiss someone and you see it, you can't tell Sandy. I have to be the one to tell Sandy. You can't do it. And finally, AD is like, no, that's fair. Like, it's your relationship. It's your place to share that. All the men, we don't see these other conversations, but either they happen or all the men think that this transfers to them and that
Yes.
because they had this conversation, Louis and AD, that they can basically bang other women in front of her if they want to, and she has absolutely no right to ever tell her dear friends.
No, in fact, Ollie maybe should break up with her if she dares to narc on them.
It's like a chilling spectacle,
It's
actually.
crazy.
It's
Poor
chilling.
AD. Poor AD just keeps being like, I am at the wrong party. Why am I here? I don't want to be here.
I know. I mean, and you think about what would
Claire
be
is
happening.
speechless.
You would think what would be happening if she wasn't there. So I would both be like, I don't want to be here. And also like, oh my God, if I weren't here.
I'm the last line of defense.
And like Ollie's throwing around being like, I didn't do anything. Like, I'm not gonna, why would I do that? That's disgusting. You made out with another woman last night.
Yeah, but AD doesn't know that yet.
My God,
So
I hate him
AD
so much.
is, relieved to see Ollie. She really missed him. And she asks him, like, what did I miss? What did you do? And he says he went on a date with 2 women. He was vibing more with Justine, so he chose her. And AD is like, please do not leave anything out. Just tell me what happened. And he's like, I will leave everything out that might upset you.
Yeah. She can't handle the truth, It's like, I'm sorry, I'm just like not gonna tell her. She might get mad,
These
and that's
men
not
just
fair.
love to like defer the pain. Like they know it's on camera. They know everyone's gonna meet.
Yeah, like she literally she's gonna obviously see people and they're gonna tell her what happened. So he eventually admits that he and Justine shared a bed. She's like, did you cuddle? And he's like, I don't think so. And she's like, you don't think so? Or you didn't? And he's like, not really. I didn't wake up cuddling her. And she's like, did you go to sleep cuddling her? And he's like, I don't remember. Like, it's the most
Crazy.
like, I'm hearing this as AD and I'm like, so he cuddled her, obviously.
Yeah,
like,
obviously.
if you didn't, then you would remember.
She also directly asks him, did you kiss her? And he says no. He did. Ollie tells the camera that he's actually like still open to being with Justine, and he's trying to just give Justine the time she deserves. So now he feels like he's cheating on 2 girls.
The way
Ollie,
that
you met Justine yesterday. Literally yesterday.
And Justine knew that he was like with someone, that he had a strong connection.
Yeah.
So like it's not the same situation. Also, like the way that these men will always use like the rights of the other woman, like, oh, she deserves more from me. So like I'm gonna lie to my actual partner to make sure that I'm giving this
Guess
other woman what she
isn't
really
impressed
deserves.
by that? Justine.
Because it's not really about what she deserves. It's about him getting a little more free play time.
Right.
It has nothing to do with what Justine deserves.
No, not even a little.
So the party continues and some clear interests emerge. Some of them we've seen before, but they get a little more space here away from the watchful eyes of their caring partners, like Louis and Alex. She's very excited to see him. It very quickly turns flirty, and he admits to her that Alex is more his type than Sandy is, and that he's not sure how good he and Sandy are out of 10 right now because they've been having some issues, some tiffs. Juliet, as we may remember from the very beginning, was initially the most attracted to Daniel, and she's still interested in Daniel, but Daniel's in high demand. And she also hits it off with Scott, and I really see it with Scott. They
So
are
do
the
I.
same person. They are the same person. Like, it doesn't seem like it's built to last because they're so similar.
No, but you can tell they would have fun together.
Yeah, they would have like a fun, brief, explosive fling. They're both shitsters, and so she doesn't really mind that he's rude because she's a little rude. Like, they actually
She's down.
I've seen like British and like, UK men sometimes on these shows will be like, American girls don't really understand our banter, but like Juliet loves shitting on men, and it's so she can catch that vibe. And she's like ready to take Scott. She's like, Rachel and I have the same type, but I'm coming for Scott. I don't lose. I'm like,
You
why aren't you in the
you
house,
have
sweetie?
multiple times.
Why aren't you in the house?
But I do enjoy Juliet
I
quite a
know.
lot. She's excellent television.
She's being kind of like rude about Rachel, but listen, it's a game. She's like, Rachel isn't a match for you. I don't see that for you at all. She's too nice.
On the Vile Files, they actually asked Rachel about some of the comments that Juliet had made. And Rachel's like, yeah, I just think she's like a professional. And I don't think if you actually asked her, like, she's like, I don't think she would say she didn't like me. I think we're fine.
I hope. He's
Yeah,
like,
she's like, I
Juliet.
hope. But I think she's just like, knows how to give television.
Yeah. So they flirt. She denies being messy, and he's like, no, no, no. The type of shows you're on describe you as a person. Otherwise, you wouldn't be on those shows. I was like, wow, reality shows are the new zodiac signs for the subset of people who are on
Who are
reality
hot
shows.
enough to be on reality
Yeah.
shows.
He's like, I know what type of person you are because you were on Siesta Key. And he says he loves to instigate and also be in the drama himself 25% of the time. Just like have a little fight and make up. I actually kind of love the self-awareness.
Me
I hate when
too.
people like this are like, I hate drama. I'm like, you clearly love it.
Like,
You
no,
thrive on it.
I respect that Scott is like, no, I know who I am. I like drama. Do I want to be in it centrally? Only a quarter of the time.
Only a quarter of the time. I think that's reasonable. That's fun. She shares her interest in Scott with Louis and Daniel, who the men always go so quickly to being like, these new girls, they're hotter than our friends, your current partners. And
Like,
it
I
really
get that
pisses me
they
off.
were already friends with Juliet, but the way that they turn on Rachel is so gross. Like, it's completely unnecessary. Juliet
Yeah.
didn't ask you to do this.
Right.
Immediately, Daniel's like, yeah, I mean, she's like kind of dead compared to you. Fuck off, sir.
Yeah, like you are the biggest nothing. Like the only thing you bring to this show is emotionally abusive outbursts at your partner. So
Right.
like, please be quiet. Juliet and Scott keep flirting through the day. They have like a great exchange where he keeps giving her compliments and she keeps being like, I know, yes, my eyes are amazing. He's like, just say thank you. Like, you don't need, why are you
God
saying I
forbid a
know?
lady have confidence,
God
Scott.
forbid a lady have a little confidence in her eyes.
So later, Juliet chats with Daniel, and Daniel says that he and Lucy are actually a bit shaky because she embarrassed him during the kissing challenge.
He will never let that go.
Never. He will say he's over it. He will never be over it.
And
he will use it as a reason to cheat on Lucy. He will.
It's like just on a physical level, like we're all different, but Juliet's like, he is 10 times hotter than Scott. He's by far the most attractive guy in the house. I don't
get it. It's not for me.
But also like he just sucks. Like his whole
More importantly,
personality
he
is
sucks.
being controlling of his sweetheart of a partner. And Juliet asks if there's a crack in the door, and he's like, there might be. Daniel is also fielding pretty strong interest from Olivia, who thinks he got trapped with Lucy. Olivia is like really irritating to me, actually.
She is just the epitome of a woman who's like, I'm a cool girl and all of those other women suck.
Yeah, the only reason that he's in a relationship with that other hot woman who isn't me is because she trapped him.
I really hate seeing women deploy misogynist tropes against other women, and Olivia does that a lot.
And there are ways to be, I've seen many bombshells on many shows. Like you do have to kind of play the game and try to sell yourself and tempt them away. But it actually isn't necessary to treat all other women like
with
they
contempt?
are like a
No.
different breed from you. Yeah, like you're above them. They bond over the fact that Daniel can't speak French. Like maybe he can speak like one sentence of French. Olivia went to France in the summer once. So they kind of have the same level of proximity to French.
So deceased because Olivia finds out that Daniel is Canadian. So she's like, do you speak French? And Daniel's like, actually, no, but I can say one sentence in French. And then Olivia's response is like, oh, well, I went to France in the summer.
There you go.
And they're like, wow, we're clearly meant to be. We have so
Meant
much
to
in
be.
common.
He tells her that he's a Cancer, but he always says that he's actually a Leo that came early.
Stolen valor. We don't accept you,
Truly.
Daniel.
Yeah, I know so many wonderful Leos.
Yeah, me,
No.
Greg.
Yeah, he doesn't share any of the wonderful qualities of the Leos I know. And she replies, "Do you always come early?" And he's like, "Oh, well, I wouldn't like you."
Oh,
That was such a clear setup. Like, don't tell me that that had nothing to do with why you said you were a Leo that came early. When he tells the boys about this chat, Louis says that Olivia is sexier than Lucy, and Ollie seconds. I hate these men
gross.
so much. I'm like over basically every single one of these men.
Oh, Freddie. Freddie's the only good man.
He barely gets any screen time. That's that's how I'm able to continue to like him.
It's really depressing.
The men all agree that their women are probably doing the same stuff right now. They've probably even lipsed the guys already. I was like, okay, so first of all, I know you guys are professionals. Are aware of what happens on these shows. I'm aware of what happens on these shows. This happens like every
Every
fucking
time.
time.
Every time.
You split up, the girls are good, they chat, they flirt, maybe a kiss or two, usually not even that, and the guys go fucking crazy.
Every time.
What
Every goddamn time.
delusional world are you? And meanwhile, while you've been back at the house, you have been like verbally berating them for crimes like talking too loud to other men, rating other men too high in a kissing challenge that everyone participated in. And you think that they're over there acting wild? You have been like verbally berating them into submission. They're not going to risk what they have with you because you have made clear that they'll be judged very harshly if they step a foot out of line.
But you're
And
allowed
you
to
got
do whatever the fuck you want.
yeah, because
'Cause
you're
they'll
telling
forgive
yourself a little
you.
story about what you're allowed to do.
So things get really messy, obviously, during this boys' day when a game of truth or dare is initiated, which is just a permission structure for them to go really wild. They all just need an excuse to hook up, and this is it. Louis makes out with Alex. He does a three-way kiss with Hannah and Alex.
Why are we doing so many three-way kisses all of a sudden?
Because they're 23.
Is this a thing that people do though? Like until like it came up on Love Island this season, I feel like I'd never seen this happen on a show before. And suddenly they were like,
no.
three-way kiss, three-way kiss, like everywhere I turn.
Honestly,
Anyway.
it does feel like such a truth or dare thing to me.
Really? Well, you went to camp, so you probably.
It just seems like a stupid thing. Like,
yeah,
three-way kiss.
like it doesn't seem fun to me. But they do that. Jalen makes out with QT. Daniel makes out with Olivia and Juliet, and he also is like dared to like lick or kiss Olivia's thigh. So he like picks her up, puts her spread eagle on a table, and like licks up and down her thighs, and then is like, "I'm really turned on right now." Ollie declines to participate in
Which
this
is,
way
like-
that's like, I'm not gonna and it's like, no, of course you aren't. Your actual match is here. Like, you're not some noble guy for declining to participate in Truth or Dare. No one else would be either if their partner was standing next to them.
Exactly. The thing that I really hated that Ollie did is that he keeps repeatedly trying to cover AD's eyes so that she like can't witness the men going wild and like being unfaithful.
Think the way that Ollie acts with AD around the other guys and tries to prevent her from seeing what they're doing, is egging them on to be unfaithful and is trying to keep her from seeing it, is like if she tries to tell them, I'll dump her.
It's gross.
That's a bigger turnoff to me than the Justine thing. Like if
I
I found out
agree.
just about the Justine thing, I'd be like, okay, it's a dating show. And you wanted to explore, we've only known each other for a week, we're testing our relationship, maybe we can work through this. The fact that I'm seeing him doing like, this is what you're like around your boys, that's a huge ick for me. I would be so over it. I don't know how like she's like annoyed, she's pushing his hands away, but I'm like, is this the kind of man you want? I don't know how I would ever trust him at like a guy's night again. And that's not a relationship I want to be in if I feel like, oh, I don't trust that you'll behave yourself when you're with your friends.
Yeah. And like throughout the whole thing, AD is just horrified. She's like, I'm at a loss for words. Did everybody break up? Is this a singles party for everyone? The answers are no and yes, AD. And she's like, I'm at the wrong party.
Ugh. Poor AD having just like the worst day. And it's such a contrast with what we then see with Freddie and Madison, by the way.
I know.
After Truth or Dare, it just seems like that's broken the ice.
Yeah. Any minor restraints that were there gone.
Like, the truth or
Alex
dare is just, like, to grease the wheels, and then we're just gonna
and then they're
basically
like, and
hook
now
up the
I'm
rest of the
allowed. Now
day.
I'm allowed to do whatever the fuck I want
Yeah.
because I'm a man. Alex and Louis just seem to spend the next like 4 hours making out in the pool. Daniel and Olivia are making out and like rubbing up on each other right next to them. Like, uh, and then they're playing sexy chicken so that Olivia and Alex can make out.
Yeah.
It
AD
just
is getting
feels, yeah.
so upset watching like how would you react to like, of course, like, she knows all of their partners, and she knows also how the men have reacted when their partners have stepped even a toe out of line.
AD is obviously going to tell her girls.
Of course. Well,
Obviously.
like, I'm sorry, at the beginning of the day, Louis was like, "If I do anything, I should get to tell Sandy." Okay. And then they proceed to have the most insane bacchanal. Like, I'm sorry. Like, that is so beyond anything that I would expect to have to keep quiet about.
I know. Also, as you pointed out, only Louis has this conversation with AD, and he is also the only one who actually tells his partner exactly what he did.
And then whenever AD walks by, they're like, "Get out of here, AD. Like, you can't say anything. You can't say
Ugh.
nothing about that about the." It's like she can. She actually can. I'm sorry. Like,
She's a person.
the way that to me this was the same kind of thing as when you're like, I did something and I want to tell you but you can't get mad, and you're like, okay, I won't get mad, and they're like, I killed your dog. Like, I'm sorry, at a certain point
You
there's
don't get to
no way.
dictate someone else's emotional reaction.
Right,
You
and there's no
don't.
way that you can, like that you can extract certain promises that have certain sort of ranges of expected
Gross.
behavior contained within that, and then blow way beyond that and still expect that promise to hold. Like, the behavior that she is seeing,
It's
she should not have to
appalling.
keep to herself. It's appalling. And, like, it's clear that AD was like, "No, I don't wanna, like, run in there and tell Sandy before you have a chance to tell her, but that doesn't
Yeah.
mean that I'm gonna, like, carry a bunch of very important information about the people that they're partnered with that they're never gonna know."
So AD tells the camera, I want to deliver the news to my girls about the behavior of their men, but I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. Like she's just in the worst position. And meanwhile, Ollie is telling Daniel and Louis that he'll tell AD he won't match with her if she snitches. Literally, fuck off,
I
Ollie.
mean, this is so funny to me though because the fake bravado is crazy.
Oh,
Like,
they're
he
all like,
thinks
yeah. I'm gonna tell my girl. Like,
I know, these men are
okay.
so dumb.
Men, the way men perform masculinity for other men is on display so hardcore
Right.
during this day. They're all just like, I don't give a fuck about my girl. These women are so much hotter. A
Yeah.
day later, they're
Oh,
like, but I only want to be with
I
you.
know. No, it's literally hilarious the way that they're like, "We're gonna stay strong. We're gonna deny." Ollie's like, "I'm gonna
Deny.
tell AD I won't match with her if she switches. I'll leave her in the dust." I'm sorry, sir, within 24 hours, you are going to be begging her for another chance. You are going
Begging
to be
her and
willing to, like
upset that she even deigns to giggle at another man's
it's
jokes.
so funny that you think you have leverage here. Like,
You're
pathetic,
hilarious.
honestly. So, over at the women's mixer, things are decidedly tamer, even though JR doesn't think anyone can deny his lips.
They
Like,
will. They do and they
sir,
will.
we'll be fine. Like, I think we're okay. Um, so, along with JR, we have Cody from Temptation Island, another OG cast member who's back. Carrington from Love Island, Ray from Love Island, Clayton from The Bachelor is back, and of course, Freddie.
So it's like slim pickings, I'm gonna be honest. It's mostly men that they're very familiar with, like Cody and Clayton and
Yeah.
Freddie.
It's interesting watching, like, seeing the way that the bombshells have, like, cycled into the house. Like, more men have, like, gotten play than women
Yeah.
because I feel like the men just, like, mostly wanna make out with whatever hot woman they see, but they're like, "Well, I guess the hot woman I saw first is, like, my girlfriend, and the other ones are just,
Yeah.
like, people I'm cheating on her with, so I guess I'll just go back to the first one." And the women are doing a little bit more like, "Well, who's the right
Who's the
partner
right match for
for
me? And
me?"
if something isn't working, I'm going to be intentional about being with someone else.
Yeah. So Nick Lachey arrives to encourage everyone to explore connections, and to tell them that the currently coupled people will be returning to the villa tonight, but tomorrow everyone will be back for a big mixer. Everyone will be in play. And he's like, the boys are probably doing everything you're doing, maybe worse.
They know.
Well, the women are like, I don't know. I think I trust my guy. Like, Sandy's like, we're
Poor
really
Sandy.
You could put any woman in front of Louis, and like, I really would be interested to see what would happen. Like, the implication being that she doesn't think that another woman could tempt him because their relationship is so strong. I think that that is kind of a fair reaction, given that he has been laying it on thick with the like, I'm not even going to talk to any of these new bombshells.
Yeah.
I'm really focused on you. I'm really hurt that you would talk to someone else.
Well, but when she's not right in his line of eyesight, does she even exist?
Well, then he can't use his good behavior to extract loyalty from her. I can't believe I gave him even an iota
I know, I'm so
of
mad.
credit.
I'm so mad that we
mad.
gave him credit.
Ugh. I was like, well, he's not talking to any other girls. Maybe he wants to progress the seriousness of their Claire,
No,
you
he's
fucking
just
moron.
waiting for Boys' Day.
I fell for it again. Madison is just so happy to see Freddie. She tells him
It's
about her
cute.
date with Ray and Jalen and that she matched with Jalen. But she's like, at no point did I ever waver in how I felt about you. If it's not Freddie, then it's not for me. And he feels the same. So they do kiss. No one else kisses. Like, it's like the way
The
that
women are
that
so
Ollie is like, oh
well-behaved.
fuck, AD's here. And Madison is just like so overjoyed to get to spend time with Freddie. I was
She's
like, this is
crying. She's like in tears. And Freddie is so nervous. He's like, what if there was someone else that she met that she has a connection with? Oh, I'm so happy.
This literally is like the horror of straight dating for women, though, that like you just want to be
Yep.
with your man and he is upset that you're there. He's like, oh, I wish my girlfriend weren't here.
Well, he's like, I want you
I do
there,
love
but like
her,
after I get a chance to make out with all these other hot women who I barely view as human beings.
Like, do I want you there like in my home, like as my partner? Sure.
Yeah,
But like
for
if I'm gonna
sure.
pick any woman to spend a day at the pool with, it would be a different one. That sounds more fun to me. I'm so over men.
It's so Madonna whore. These men are like, my girlfriend is my Madonna. These objects that are in front of me and are shiny are my whores.
I can't deal with it. This batch really affected
It really
me
will
deeply.
kill any confidence you have in like men as a just as a whole gender.
As a cohort. So during this mixer, Rachel, she knows her relationship with Scott is not like the most sturdy. Like she's like, this is a chance to talk to some other people. So she connects with Carrington and Ray, who both tell her that they're looking for something serious. And she's like, yeah, the shows I've been on have been super serious. I am looking for a long-term partnership. I'm looking for marriage. I thought it was interesting that Carrington presented himself really differently with Rachel than he did when he was coming on to the date with Juliet.
So differently.
That was a lot of like bluster and like, I can steal your girl, like confidence, bravado. Like wasn't he the one who was like, I love to love bomb?
Yes, yes. And with Rachel, he seems really earnest.
And I was like, is he love bombing her?
I know. I really couldn't
he's doing it.
tell.
That love bombing comment made me suspicious because I was like, I could see him being a really good love bomber. He's like future casting with her. He's like,
Yeah,
I
he's
love
just
being
like-
in a relationship. Life is better with a partner. I want that. We're the same, you and I. But he does seem to really like Rachel. I'm falling for it again. Rachel,
Look, Claire, we have to just go off of what we see.
Rachel
until
and
proven
Ray.
otherwise.
Rachel and Ray have a really good vibe as well.
I love their vibe.
They have some cute banter. He apologizes for not chatting with her at the house the night before when he came back from the date with Madison because he is friends with Scott. He's like, I didn't want to like make a play for his girl. And she's like, I'll see how you make it up to me. Like they're like
It's really
bantering a little
cute.
bit. And they bond over the fact that they're both like lover girl, lover boy, and they fall hard again and again. And they get into how many kids they want. They both want 3 to 4. It's meshing. Rachel is thrilled. She's like, I actually have options for
And
once.
I am thrilled for her because she has been the fuck through it.
She has been through it. It's like I I want to see her have fun for a change.
Exactly. I really enjoyed Rachel in this entire batch of episodes because it does feel like she's getting to like banter with people, flirt, have fun, be pursued. Like it just seems like she's having a good time.
Yeah, she's getting to actually like relax and get into her comfort zone a little bit. Meanwhile, Clayton is telling Sandy that he definitely did the right thing with Rachel. And Sandy says that things are going really well with Louis and she's not even worried about him at Boys' Day.
Poor Sandy.
I think that Clayton keeps thinking like maybe there's going to be an opening for him. And it's like after
There's
what
not,
happened, I
sir.
just truly don't think anyone
No one is
is
interested.
interested. I'm sorry. JR does make a play for Justine. They hang out in the pool, and she is really open to him. I mean, she barely knows Ollie. She loves JR's style. She
She's
finds him really
trying.
attractive. And this is something you don't often see on a show like this. She's literally just like, the conversation was really disappointing. It was not good.
She like and I've heard this actually from a couple people who have been on press tours. I think Rachel said
Yeah,
this too, that JR's way in with a lot of the women who he didn't know was just to be like immediately physical, like
which
in
is
his
not
talk.
surprising. That comes through in what we see. It comes through in
Yeah.
his little like confessionals where he's like, "Oh, who can deny these lips? Like I can dickmatize a girl." Like he says these things to the women, or he's like, "Oh, I love your
And
tits,"
they
and
are
they're
not
just like,
into it.
"Excuse me, like you don't know my last name. Like what are? Please back off." He doesn't know what women want.
No, and he doesn't
Actually,
even like Justine is making jokes about doing like the lift in the pool from Dirty Dancing. He doesn't get it at all. He's clearly never heard of the movie Dirty Dancing. A
right? She
great
finally
film.
remembers the name of the movie. He's like The Lion King, which is fair. That is also a
Yeah.
movie about some where someone is lifted, and she's like, "No, Dirty Dancing," and he doesn't first of all seem to recognize Dirty Dancing. Whatever, we all have different references. We don't even really see him like respond
But
to
he doesn't
that.
engage with it. He's not like, "Oh, I haven't seen that."
He like instead he just sort of like leans in closer and closer for a kiss that she clearly does not want.
So she leaves disappointed. She's like, "I think Ollie is my only connection because I can actually have a conversation with him that doesn't make me uncomfortable."
Yeah, you got to have a little bit of banter, a little bit of game. I get the sense that JR, coming from this like really religious background, being married young and then like getting really attractive, like has maybe kind of warped his ability to relate to
Yeah.
women romantically or to like present himself. Like he can probably skate by a lot on just being hot, and that's really intoxicating to him because it wasn't always that way. He can get a lot of sex just by being like a hot dude. And in a slightly more competitive setting, the banter is lacking.
Yep.
So we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, the rest of this 3-episode drop of Perfect Match.
We are back, and back at the villa, the women are waiting, cautiously optimistic a little bit, but also increasingly scared to see the returning men. The boys come back, like all shirtless, smirking, looking guilty as
The
hell.
only hope these women have is that their men are terrible liars. They have no poker face.
Oh my God, none. It's honestly comical.
They're
It immediately
hangdogs.
starts raining, and Lucy is like, "Why is the weather upset with you? What
Yeah.
did you all
They're
do?"
like, why are the shirts off? Why is it raining? Why do you look like that? Why aren't you talking? Sandy says, my intuition is screaming, guilty, 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 guilty. She's
Correct,
correct.
Sandy. She picks up on it immediately. She's like, "What the fuck did you guys do?" Louis thinks that if Sandy actually knew what he was doing, she might take a kitchen knife and cut his dick off. She doesn't.
The projection is actually crazy. Like the fact that like women generally are subject to so much violence
No,
from
he's
their
like,
partners.
he's
And the
like
men are always
Lorena
like, "Oh
Bobbitt.
no, she's gonna hurt me. Oh, I'm sorry." She's gonna be upset that you betrayed
She's
her.
going to be
Like,
mad.
she's
She's
gonna
going to
be
be
mad.
mad. And that is essentially the same as physical violence to a man.
I'm
Claire's losing faith. So Lucy directly asks them, like, "Did you play kissing games?" And Daniel admits that they played a couple games, but nothing ridiculous.
That's
They
a
just,
little too subjective for me, Daniel.
that seems non-specific.
It's like it didn't feel ridiculous to me. I thought it was great actually. I felt very comfortable with it.
Daniel does pull Lucy for a chat. He's like, okay, I have to tell her something. And Lucy directly says to him, please do not lie to me. All of the singles are going to be here tomorrow. So he half lies. He admits that he kissed Olivia during Truth or Dare and also Juliet, but it didn't mean anything at all. And he feels so guilty. He feels like an asshole. It was a fun day, but it got out of hand. He, however, leaves out the whole inner thigh licking and also the making out in the pool for hours after the inner thigh licking. That's for later.
He doesn't want to break her heart.
What a thoughtful guy.
And the way that you prevent yourself from breaking someone's heart is by not telling her
Is
all
by
of the shit
lying.
you've been doing publicly on camera.
So
That
she
would
can
break her
find out
heart.
later.
So she can find out later. Lucy feels ill, like even based off of the small things that he has told her, she is doubting her connection, and she should. And like even at this point, you've got to be, if you're Lucy, thinking, if I did that, he would make me pay. He
Oh,
would
yeah.
punish me
He has been punishing her for much less.
for much less, and that will continue. Sandy and Louis also chat, and Sandy's like, you should tell the truth. I'm going to find out. And to his credit, he at least seems to understand this, which like most of the men don't.
Somehow he's the only one who actually owns up to what he did.
I'm like, I hate to give Louis credit because he seems like truly a menace, but he does tell Sandy that he kissed 2 girls during Truth or Dare, and then he kissed Alex outside of the dare. Could he have gone into a little bit more detail about how he was in the pool with Alex, like wrapped around him for hours? I think probably, but he does say that it was outside of the dare. And Sandy just gets up and walks away. And Louis is like, wait, no, I know I'm in the wrong, but can we talk about it? You don't get to ask for anything. Don't you understand? Like,
And poor Sandy says that she's actually surprised and she feels really stupid for being surprised. And Louis
Yeah.
gets all defensive. He's like, it's just like the kissing challenge. And Sandy is like, no. It is not at all like the kissing challenge. Also, I thought you were germophobic.
yeah. I thought that you couldn't make out with women because of the germs, but it seems like you were able to make out with like half of the women there. So that was fine. And he's like, well, it was a dare. And she's like, okay, dare me to go bang a dude over there. That makes it okay. Like, these men think that these women are so stupid, actually.
And they're not.
They're like,
they're not
we
stupid.
came up with a game where we had no choice but to engage in wanton acts of depravity. And you're blaming us for
The
that?
women immediately clock that obviously this game was contrived to give them a permission structure to do exactly what they wanted to do.
They weren't. Nick Lachey didn't sit them down and say, you have to play Truth or Dare, and I'm going to be controlling all the truths and dares to make sure that you really do some wild shit. So, like, they know that the men came up with this fucking game themselves because they wanted to do this. Like, what do you mean it was a dare? Are we 5?
Yes.
You're an adult.
No,
You wouldn't
these
accept
men are
that
not
as an
adults.
excuse from her. That's crazy. So Sandy's like, I didn't even want to talk to the single men, let alone kiss them. And I was, she's like, I was getting to a point where I was letting my walls down and seeing Louis as a person, like more than this. But she's like, I guess that was stupid of me. I feel like Sandy and I are one. I'm like, I can't believe I
know.
fucking bought it.
I too was seeing Louis as a person more than this. And that was stupid of me.
Yeah, we should have seen him as a really accomplished reality dating show professional who does whatever he feels.
I do stand by that he is not as frightening to me as Harry Jowsey.
Harry Jowsey is like truly one of the most frightening people to me in the entire reality TV universe. Like, it's like him and Jax Taylor. Like, he is like deeply frightening.
Another level.
So Louis apologizes for how he acted. But he's like, we were there to test our connection. I'm sorry, but I don't regret it. Why can't anyone ever fucking admit they regret anything anymore? They're always like, I'm sorry. I would do it again. I have no regrets. And I feel really sorry about that. What does that even mean? Like, what is I'm sorry if there's no regret tied to it at all? What does I'm sorry signify to you?
It means you have to forgive me now so we can date again.
It means I wish that you didn't feel bad about the thing that I am glad I did and I have no
Right.
regrets about doing. I wish you didn't feel bad about it, but you do. So
So
forgive
all of
me.
this drama is making Ollie realize, maybe I shouldn't have lied to AD's face repeatedly. Women can speak, and I wasn't thinking about that.
Sometimes they even speak to each other and not just to you about how they want to have threesomes with you. Like, I was like, this is that we haven't even achieved the need for the Bechdel test here yet
No.
because men don't even realize that women can talk to each other about men. Like, we need a pre-Bechdel test. It's just like, do you understand? Can we have
Women are
representations?
allowed to speak, are able to speak about each other, can speak about the experiences they've had with you directly.
Right. I guess we need more media where women speak to each other about men. Like truly at this point, a lot of these men seem to think that the women only exist when they're directly having conversations with men.
Correct.
And he's like, okay, I'll just have to own the consequences of what I did. So he checks in with Justine and admits that he hasn't told AD that they kissed. And she's like, have you made a decision? And he says, no, I really can see myself being with both of you. And as they're getting ready for bed, he's like, can I have you both? And she's
Cute
like,
Ollie.
no.
So the next morning, we have 3 days left to choose the perfect match, and the boys are waiting for the singles mixer, or judgment day, as Jalen puts it. He also wisely advises Daniel that, quote, if you don't tell the whole truth, it is considered a lie. Thank you, Jalen.
Voice of reason here.
Lucy is dressed in all black.
Like the black like cowboy hat too.
She says this is an homage to the fact that it might be RIP for some of the boys today.
And it should honestly,
it should
Lucy,
be, but it isn't.
Above all, like should have.
She's too forgiving.
She should have been putting someone in the ground, but they're all waiting, and the boys are feeling anxious. Sandy is like, "You've been very naughty boys." I'm
Sandy
excited
is having
to see
fun
all
torturing
the
them, and I love it.
She's like, "Who are you most excited to see?" I'm excited to see all the girlies. The single guys arrive first, and Freddie and Madison are reunited. Clayton runs over to the rest of the guys in the house to get all the tea, and Louis is maybe a little more honest with him than he was with Sandy. He's like, oh, I was like booed up with Alex all day. Daniel went crazy. And Clayton's like, I smell an opening for me. And I'm like, no, Clayton, these women would all literally rather forgive a guy who did like the literal worst thing in the world to them than give you a chance. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're done for. The girls then arrive, and Daniel says he has a huge pit in his stomach, and he wishes he could just put a blanket over his head and hide like a big dumb baby. He doesn't say big dumb baby. That was me adding that. But he is a big dumb baby. But the women
you should
are
try
like,
it, Daniel. Put a blanket over yourself and hold very still. Just do that for the rest of filming. Maybe it'll work. What's the worst that could happen?
Sit yourself on that couch and do not emerge.
Do not move. Do not talk to Lucy. But the women are really excited to see Juliet and AD again. Ollie does not seem super thrilled to see AD. They kiss. They're like, oh, we're sort of almost matching.
I noticed that he actually is matching with Justine.
Also, like, I feel like these people are matching an improbable amount. Like on dates and on the board. I'm like,
is some of this wardrobe provided?
Right. Ollie is also feeling pretty worried that AD is going to snitch on the boys. And of course, she will, and she should. Like, again, there is no way that, to me, it's crazy to extract a promise early on and then abuse
Go
it
wild.
To that extent, right? Like, these are her friends.
Also, AD does not give a fuck. She's a girl's girl.
Right. She clearly is making the same calculation, which is like, oh, if they were going to share a kiss or two, I would let them have that conversation with their partners. But like,
they went wild. They went
crazy.
fucking wild.
Like, my friends deserve to know.
And so they all sit down for a girls' chat. Everyone goes around and is like, this is what I have been told by my male partner. And AD says to the camera, it doesn't feel fun to be the grim reaper of relationships, but my loyalty is not with these men. Yes, girl.
It's not.
I love you,
No one
AD.
should be loyal to these men. These men don't know what loyalty is. They don't deserve loyalty. They
No,
don't
not even a little
demonstrate
bit.
loyalty. AD tells Lucy that Daniel didn't just kiss Juliet and Olivia in the game. And she describes how he like picked Olivia up and licked her inner thigh. She tells them that Scott was making out with Juliet in the pool. Louis was making out with Alex in the pool. Daniel was making out with Olivia in the pool. They were like wrapped around each other. And as the episode ends, AD looks around at like Justine and Ollie and is like, what's the energy with Ollie, an old girl? Did he kiss her?
Right back into episode 8. We open with a very funny scene of Louis, Daniel, Jalen, and Ollie doing like a ritual circle dance with an original song that I had to transcribe. The boys are fucked. We're out of the house. The boys are fucked. We went too far. They're gonna find out. Yeah, we are fucked.
This is why some sociopathic men are on reality TV and some aren't, you know? You can
Because some of them are funny.
Some of them are funny sociopaths. Daniel is really freaking out about being in the doghouse, and Clayton like clasps his shoulder and said, "No one's in the doghouse permanently." Clayton, it's called being fucking dumped. What are you talking about? Of course you can be in the doghouse permanently.
Also,
Gabby will never forgive you, and she's right.
She's correct. I'm fully on team Gabby. There's not a doubt. Never, Gabby, you don't ever have to forgive Clayton.
Yeah.
That's fair game forever.
That's called being in the doghouse permanently, Clayton. Like I don't know where you got the idea that forgiveness is inevitable and consequences aren't real, but they are real. Relationships can end. Women can hate you forever.
And that's their right.
That's their right. So going back to the conversation with AD and the girls, they replay this question like, did he kiss Justine? And they're like, well, we haven't seen them kiss, but like the energy they're giving, she's like basically like, they gave me the you should go talk to your man eyes.
Yeah.
They say that Ollie was loving the 2-girl date, that he came and like holding hands with both of them and like just seemed really torn. And AD's like, oh, okay. Got it. So he just like, okay.
There's something going on here. So she pulls Justine for a chat because she knows she can trust Justine more than she can trust Ollie, to be honest.
And she's right.
And she's right. And Justine immediately extends an olive branch. She seems just like really disappointed that she has to be in any position of opposition with AD. She's like, I watched your season. I loved it. I loved watching you. You're so deserving of love. And she says, you know, I never want it to be 2 black girls up against each other. And AD agrees. So AD tells Justine what Ollie has told her. And Justine clears things up. She's like, Ollie and I did kiss after we matched and we cuddled. And AD says, lying to my face is crazy.
Yeah.
It is crazy.
I mean, these men, like literally almost every scene for the first like 2 episodes of this drop, at least, I just kept in my head being like, where do they get the fucking audacity? Like,
where do they get
Where
it?
do they find the nerve to behave this way? It is so unhinged. In the moment, AD is like, it's just hard for me to see Ollie as my perfect match after this because I don't think my perfect match would lie to me, no matter how hard it is.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. It's hard for me too. Like, it's hard for me to process this, knowing that like they're going to be together forever. And I was previously very happy about that. And now I'm like, I guess I have to work through the fact that I now think Ollie doesn't deserve to lick the bottom of her shoe. I have to work through that also.
You're like, that's just my pain and my journey.
That's my burden to carry. I'm gonna go to therapy to cope with this. Afterwards, Ollie is watching all this unfold and he's regretting that he lied to AD like a wasteman. When he gets upset or flirty, he gets like really into these sort like the accent and also the just like these local slang terms that I don't know become much thicker.
I kind of love it.
It's amazing, actually. I'm like, I've never heard that before, but I love it. He's like, I wouldn't blame her if she didn't want to match up with me.
Same.
crazy turnaround from saying he'd threatened not to match to keep her quiet. Like, how
All bluster. Ollie is just
all
all bluster.
bluster. So he pulls her and apologizes and tries, now that Justine has actually told her, he tries to own what he did. And AD is like, I gave you multiple opportunities to tell me the truth. Like, you knew this was like, what were you doing? I gave you the chance to tell me. And he's like, I was cowardly and dishonest. And AD is like, because you thought that's what I deserved. And he's like, no. But like, you were acting like that's what you thought, this was all funny jokes and games.
Right. You lied to her face. She asked you direct questions.
It's so infuriating. He admits to her that he thinks there would have been potential with Justine if not for AD, and he's like, I put our relationship back 10 paces, but if you'll let me earn your trust back, I'd like to try. He says that being separated from her, he lost himself
It was
for
24
one
hours.
day.
These
God.
men can lose themselves in a matter of like 2 hours is
Honestly,
what I've
it
seen.
was like 12 hours because she left in the morning. He went on
That's
a date.
true.
By the end of the day, he's lip-syncing Justine. 12 hours. He lost himself. He needs her constantly there to remind him of who
apparently
he is.
men need to be surveilled 100% of the time.
It's
or
taking
they
no
will
object
just act a
permanence.
fool.
It's taking no object permanence to crazy new level. Like,
Poor AD. AD is just like, my heart is so broken. I don't even know what to do. She feels unsure about where she's at with Ollie. And Ray pulls her for a chat because he's like, AD is really my type. I want to talk to her. And Ollie cannot handle AD talking to another man. Talking. They are just talking.
it's you would think that having just extensively been like like unfaithful to her or disloyal, that he would have some sense that like she deserved a similar opportunity to explore a little
maybe.
bit.
You would think. You
And
would
instead,
think,
it's
Claire.
almost like these men, and this is even not even worse, but like similar with Daniel and some of the other men, like immediately instead they just start projecting their shame for what they did
Yes.
onto the women.
Yes,
They're like,
that's exactly it.
they're like, oh my God, I can't believe you would give the time of day to someone else. What kind of person would talk to
Fuck
someone else and
off.
disrespect our connection? Like, they can't handle the idea that they're the one that did something wrong. They have to immediately make an equation
This
between
made me
that and some
so
innocuous behavior
mad.
that their partner did and be like, see, we both really fucked up. That's not what happened. So later on, Ray is like, AD, like, let's go for another chat. And Ollie scoffs at him and he says to AD, don't give him no chat. He's had his time. Do not
Ew.
tell her who to talk to. Don't. And then he's like, he needs a step ladder. Like, he needs another 6 inches before he can come chat to my girl.
Sir.
And
sir, stop. Don't shit on the short kings. How dare you?
you are the one who fucked up. Like, you
have to take it. You have to take it. You have to let her have her space and talk to other people.
Of all moments to think that you get to tell her who to talk to and what is okay for her to do,
Wild.
this should be at the bottom of the list. And AD's like, don't get weird, but like, she is much more chill about this than I would be. She gives Ollie a certain amount of rope with some of this stuff, and
She
then
really likes
she will
him.
draw a line. So later they talk again, and she says she's wondering what he would have done at the mixer if she weren't there. And he's like, I don't think I would have done anything. What do you mean? Because you made out with another woman the night before. So like, there is actually really good evidence of what you would do. You did it a few hours prior.
No, this actually annoyed me so much.
Like, he wants to get credit for a hypothetical version of himself that is very, very directly disproven by something his actual self did at around the same time. So, like, how are you trying to get credit for not doing... You're like, I cheated on you last night, but I wouldn't have done it the
He's
next
like, I definitely
morning.
wouldn't have done it another time that didn't exist.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. But after this, he does pull Justine and ends their relationship. And he's like, we have everything that could be the foundation for a good relationship, but I have all of that plus more with AD. And she's like, okay, so why didn't you tell me that like before? And he's like, I was still deciding, like, bullshit. I'm sorry. Like, he keeps talking about how above and beyond and like magical and special what he has with AD is. It's so clear that he just wanted to like fuck around a little
I
bit.
know.
She's like, he wasted my time. It's giving he's in a 10-year marriage and I'm just the mistress that happens to be in the
Oh,
house. Very insightful,
sucks.
actually. She's like, I think AD and I both deserve better at this point because he has not moved in the way a respectful man would move. Unfortunately, these women all deserve better than basically all of the
It's
men who are
true.
here. So what are you going to do? The Lucy and Daniel stuff also gets really dark.
The Lucy and Daniel stuff really, really upsets me. Daniel,
Yeah.
I find to be actually like the most upsetting person on this show.
Yeah.
The
There
way
is a,
that he manipulates Lucy is kind of despicable.
yeah.
So Lucy pulls Olivia for a chat to like get some information because Daniel, quote, somehow forgot to let her know that he picked Olivia up and licked her thigh. And Olivia confirms to Lucy that yes, she and Daniel kissed outside of the game. He picked her up, he lifted her leg, he licked up her entire leg. And afterwards, Lucy is upset and angry, understandable. And Daniel tells Olivia that he just like really feels like a dick.
He's like, I'm just hoping my relationship isn't ruined. And I was like, well, you and I are different, Daniel. I'm really hoping your relationship is ruined.
Unfortunately, it isn't ruined, but it should be.
I know. Afterwards, he tries to pull Lucy for a chat and she says she needs some space. And he pushes it.
Yeah, she's like not right now and he keeps trying to get her to talk and finally like Madison who is standing there is like maybe you need to just respect her boundaries right now. Correct.
Lucy tells the girls, like, if I licked someone's thigh, he'd break up with me. Like, I'm sorry, he would have gone crazy.
Confirmed. He went crazy when she laughed at
Yeah,
another man.
she laughed a little
Laughed
too loudly.
loudly.
Like this, I'm sorry, this
Was
is the
that also
moment.
with Ray?
I
Do women keep getting in trouble for like having a little giggle with Ray?
it was either Ray or Jalen, right? It's like truly the lack of self-awareness that you can have to tell her that she's fucked up and done things that are wrong when she has done things that are completely innocent, completely acceptable, completely consistent with her being a good and caring partner to you. And then to go out and act the way that you acted and expect a
I know.
conversation, let alone
I know.
forgiveness.
It's crazy.
Like the way that you made her pay for just things that embarrassed you for no good reason and you think that this is something she should tolerate. It's sickening. So Daniel spends the day just avoiding Olivia at all costs. She's literally like, it's so funny. He won't even make eye contact with me. Which is, again, it's just pathetic. Like the false bravado, the bluster. It's like, I can have any of these hot women I want. Like, I don't care what Lucy thinks. She's not as hot as Olivia. And then when you might actually lose your relationship with Lucy, suddenly you find the respect.
Yeah, you're like hiding in a corner, refusing to make eye contact. He's like, she's not even there. If I don't look at her, she doesn't exist. And he seems to think that he deserves like a gold star for realizing that behavior is bad after the fact.
Yeah.
Because he keeps doing this. He says, I fucked up yesterday, got out of control. I feel like a fucking asshole. And when he finally does talk to Lucy, he says the same thing. He's like, I care about you. I feel like such an asshole. I fucked up. And Lucy correctly points out that all she's hearing in this conversation is his feelings, how he feels bad.
Yeah. She's like, I don't really care. Like, you did what you did. And he's like, no, I just want to be with you. I just want to fix things. And I'm like, you're still doing it. Like, she is directly telling you to stop talking about how you feel.
Talk about how she feels. Talk about what you did to her.
Finally, he asks how she's feeling and she says deflated. And he swears that he's willing to do whatever he needs to make things work. And if it's not her, he doesn't want to be there. And she says, well, there's no one else here I want to match with, so I'm done. And he's like, what? And she walks away. And I was like, yes,
Um,
yes,
she's not going to
escape.
leave,
She's not going to
unfortunately.
leave him. She's like, I know he cares, but I've worked bloody damn hard on myself to not just accept shitty behavior.
Oh, it's hard, Lucy. I
And
have empathy for you.
the work will continue. It's just hard to, because I know you get invested. You have this narrative in your head. She is convinced that he is a good person who is mature.
I'm not.
Well, same. But like it's hard for her to let go of that impression she has formed of him.
And I get it. Like, it's just, this is.
Yeah. But you're seeing the red flags and you're like, I don't feel good about where your relationship is going to go if you stay in a relationship with someone who is so manipulative and controlling
Right.
of your behavior, who punishes you in this way for perceived infractions of your behavior that are actually totally anodyne, and who doesn't feel the same obligation to treat you with respect and care at all, and who will instead like beg for forgiveness after he has done the hurtful thing. I have no confidence that he's going to treat you with more respect if you take him back, because
No,
he's
and
going to
I
know that he
really,
can treat you like shit and beg.
really hope that things between her and Daniel are like dead now.
Yeah. After this, Lucy talks to Louis, who is like, wow, I'm so glad you're not more mad. You're taking it so well. And
Lucy has shut down Louis.
She is like, she has formed a protective shell around her heart at this moment because she knows she can't like let it all in. And she's like, I'm not going to show much emotion today because the amount that I sweated and cried and freaked out after that bloody kissing challenge, I felt sick. And I was like, yes, you're right. Why cry over his behavior? He made you cry over something completely innocent that you did. And now, like, you're going to let him make you cry again over this. But then she says that Daniel was really mature about that. And she knows he has a good heart. And I was like, no, he was immature about that. And he does not seem to have a good heart.
Run away, Lucy. So let's talk about Juliet, Scott, Rachel, Ray, Carrington, that whole mess.
Cluster.
Yeah, Juliet is gunning hard for Scott. And honestly, as the day goes on, Rachel seems to be getting increasingly over Scott and really shifting her attention to Carrington and Ray, who both seem into her and both seem more mature than Scott, frankly.
They seem like much better matches. Like,
yeah.
Whoever set them up, I even in the moment was like, why are you setting her up with this guy?
Scott and Rachel are not a good match.
At all. And Carrington are both giving her like fun, but also a little bit more of the seriousness that she's looking for. And Carrington's confident because Riz runs in his family.
It's genetic.
Down.
From
my genes
father.
are Riz.
Yeah, my genes are Riz. They should have cast Carrington in that American Eagle campaign.
Yeah.
He just thinks Rachel's got it all. Looks, brains, the whole package. And frankly, we agree.
Yeah, he seems like really into her. I'm like, this could be cute.
I believe it. Maybe I'm a sucker, but I believe that he's genuinely into her.
He didn't sell me this well that he was genuinely into Juliet. Let's put it that way. Ray tells Rachel that he genuinely caught a vibe with her the other night, and she agrees. And they have a really good chat as well. But he's also still feeling AD, and he's like, I got to pursue all my options here.
Scott, however, likes women when they're mad at him. So once
that is
he
actually
realizes,
my favorite thing about Scott
as
a woman who gets mad when a woman is mad at him and he's turned on. I'm like, I
yeah,
gotta hand it to you.
Rachel seems like maybe she hates me, and I am into that.
I love that, actually. And I'm like, yes, women should hate men. Therefore, you should be into women hating men.
So he's like, maybe I need to use Juliet's interest in me to make Rachel jealous and reel her back in.
Yes. He's like, you just want to make her think about it enough that she...
But not like cross the line too hard.
That makes her want to pursue someone else. And I'm like, I think you've crossed the line. She doesn't seem to be thinking about you one bit. She's pretty focused on her other options at this point. So he chats with Rachel, and he admits that he withheld the truth about Boys' Day from her, but insists that he did not lie. And Rachel's like, you're insane. Like, okay, whatever. And he says, but you look good. And she says, and that should terrify you.
And he's obsessed.
He's
He's like,
like,
ooh,
oh.
she's getting feisty. I love this. She's mad.
Meanwhile, Juliet is telling Sandy that she's into Scott. And Sandy is like, he's young, but he's kind of like rude.
A correct assessment of Scott. And
But
Sandy's like, I think that actually is a better fit for you, Juliet, than for Rachel.
yeah, Rachel is really sweet. She likes like a nicer guy. Like you're also, you guys are can be like rude together. And Juliet's like, yeah, totally. Louis, Alex, Sandy, JR, and Jalen are in their own sort of cluster at this point in the night. Sandy is still reeling from Louis' behavior at the boys' day out. And so she decides to chat up Jalen. He's the only other guy left that she's like really attracted to and she hasn't really explored with. And he says he's almost 30 and he's ready for a relationship. And she's feeling the same way. She's in the same place. And she says his mom told him that he shouldn't be with the boys until there are no boys and they're all working on their families. So he's in like a race. He's got to settle down before all
He's
his
like,
boys
it's
settle
time.
down. Meanwhile, Louis is chatting it up with Alex and they discuss how he's seen whales before, but only in video. And she's like, everyone's seen whales in video, so that doesn't mean anything. And he's like, yeah, our connection just isn't that deep.
And I have to agree.
They seem like really attracted to each other. And then when they're talking to each other, they're both just kind of like,
There's
okay,
nothing
well.
here. I'm like, at least Louis is not pretending that Alex isn't a human who exists in this world, like Daniel.
Daniel is truly just, he is the ultimate villain, I think. We spent like 25 minutes talking about Clayton and his bad behavior at the beginning, and I still think that Daniel is the ultimate villain of this season.
Correct take. Sandy eventually does talk to Louis again, and she says, like, I feel disrespected. It's like I didn't even exist when you were at Boys' Day. You need to respect me even when I'm not there. And Louis is like, yes, but I don't want to be with anyone else. I think you're an amazing person, etc., etc. And Sandy seems to be warming up to forgiving Louis. She says, look, if you had lied to me the way that Daniel did with Lucy, we would be done.
She seems really shocked that Lucy is open to taking Daniel back, and so am I. I kept thinking also during this batch of episodes, I'm sure I brought this up before when covering these shows because it happens every time that the boys all cheat, but there's an opera called Così fan tutte that my dad loves, and so I used to listen to it growing up, and it's about the idea of infidelity and that like the men think that women are bound to cheat on them while they're like off at war. And so they pretend that they're leaving for war and they come back in disguise and like tempt the women. And ultimately, I believe they like prove that the women will consider cheating on them. But I'm like, there is this like deeply rooted cultural obsession with the idea of female infidelity. But we keep testing this.
And it's just not happening.
And it's the men. It's the men. I'm sorry. It's projection. It's like since time immemorial, men have been projecting their deeply rooted like inability to be loyal to women onto the women and making women suffer for it. Like I'm sorry. I have to move on. When the sun sets, Nick Lachey arrives and he tells them that he loves seeing them as one big happy family. And AD is like, happy is crazy.
It is crazy.
He says that everyone is in play that night, but there will be a max of 6 couples. So singles who aren't in a match can't match with other singles who aren't in a match currently. And then it's capped at 6.
Yeah. And luckily, this doesn't really
confusing.
lead to like any big conflicts because it's only Rachel and Scott who are really considering splitting from their couple. But I guess what he's saying is that if multiple pre-existing couples had decided to break up,
then it would be like
then it would be capped. Yeah, it would be a race to match.
But it doesn't really end up, yeah, there's no sense of a scramble. So almost immediately, and I know this is editing, and that this could have happened at any point. We don't know what happened in the intervening time, but the way that it is depicted in the edit is that as soon as Nick sets them off to mingle, Daniel just walks right over to Lucy and is like,
So we're good.
we good? Should we match? And she's like, yeah, okay. And I hope that that's not exactly what happened, but that is what we are given. And I'm like, no, this is not.
I am glad that she at least forces him to sleep on the sofa.
Yeah.
It's the least she could do. He needs one consequence,
Well,
even a tiny one.
She believes in second chances. She thinks he's kind.
He's not.
He's genuine.
He's not kind at all. He's genuinely a dick.
Madison and Freddie match, and that was never really in doubt.
No, and I like them.
Yeah, I see them together.
Seem cute.
Yeah. Ollie tells AD that he hates himself for what he did, and she's all he wants, and he's not matching with anyone but her. He asks her to give it a chance, and she finally agrees, and they match, and she's feeling optimistic. As they walk in to go to bed, he says, "Ain't no one pulling you for more chats."
Ollie. My God. Louis tells Sandy, like in a sort of bantery way, he's like, that was crazy. You took like someone like Jalen to go chat in our spot in the egg chairs. And he's like, don't do that again. And she says, okay, don't make out with anyone again. And they like shake on it and they agree to match.
I was like, I know he's kind of joking, but again, it's like you really fucked up. And immediately you're finding a way that she was technically also disloyal.
Well, because all the men have to point to is like, you talked to someone else.
Yeah.
You talked. You laughed. You sat in a chair. Like, that's all they have.
Right. Exactly. They're like, it's not fair that I'm the one who's always in trouble. So we just have to hold the women to a much higher standard so that sometimes they can also fall afoul of the standard. Otherwise, it would be unfair. Rachel confronts Scott about his interest in Juliet and about the fact that he didn't pull her for a chat like at all that day, really. And Scott is into it. He's like, she's criticizing me. It's super sexy. And he starts like weirdly confessing. I feel like this was edited oddly because she points out that maybe Juliet just wants him as a way into the house. And he's like, oh yeah, you've got me realizing, okay? Like, I'm in the wrong here. I'm the one who's made the bad decisions. You've got me apologizing. Like, I can't believe this. And I was like,
you're like, I feel that we missed pieces of this conversation.
I know. And then just in the moment, he's like, I think I'm quite messed up in the head.
We love that self-awareness, Scott. But ultimately, he does end up matching with Juliet because they are just a better match. And Juliet is thrilled to be back in the house.
With someone she likes.
It's a good plus.
I do see them together, again, temporarily. And Rachel is not that bothered. She's like, he's doing what he needs to do for TV. I have 2 other options I'm really excited about. She tells Lucy she just wants to wake up and be happy. And it seems like that's maybe possible for her for a change. Carrington is ready to make a big play for her, but Rachel decides to go after Ray, and she makes a little rom-com speech.
She's such a rom-com heroine.
She's like, Carrington, just a second. And he's like, oh no, I know what this means. And she goes to Ray, and she's like, I want to tell you how I feel. I don't want you to wonder where my head's at. I want you to know I've been thinking about you. And he's like, me too. And they match. He flings her over his shoulder and carries her off. And for the first time, she seems like really smitten and
She's
happy.
Giggling. He's laughing. Like, it's just a very cute dynamic. We check back in with all the couples back in their rooms. And in general, they're in good spirits. Rachel and Ray are making out. Freddie and Madison are having a little like teeth brushing dance party, which I thought was adorable. Juliet is showing Scott her flexibility. And even Daniel is taking to his couch bed quite stoically. However, Ollie decides it's time to pick a fight with AD over her behavior.
Over her behavior.
Crazy. This is
On
crazy.
principle.
The
He's like,
audacity.
on principle, you shouldn't have been chatting and giggling with Ray like you were. And AD is like, you're making something out of nothing. Like, I have no real interest in him. Like,
And you
it's
know
giving
that.
yeah, she's like, it's giving insecure. And he's like, oh, well, then it's insecure for you to be upset about me lip-sync Justine. How about that?
Jesus. And she is understandably fucking pissed by this.
Ollie accuses AD of disrespecting him. And she's like, what did I do? I talked and I laughed. You don't know what disrespect is, Ollie. You don't know what disrespect
Correct.
is. You kissed a bitch and lied to me. If you're saying this is disrespect, then what the fuck did you do to me? And I was like, I love seeing AD really stand up for herself
Me
and
too.
lay down a line. Like, you don't get to give me shit for
No.
talking to someone. But
Abso-fucking-lutely not.
But this was really upsetting to me that he felt like it was at all appropriate
I just
for him
really
to
hope.
even if he had not kissed another woman and lied to her, to talk to
Or
her this
actually,
way
women
for
are
talking
allowed
to
to
another
speak.
man. We're
Women are
allowed to speak.
allowed to speak to people.
Yeah. Like,
You don't get to control her.
I'm not interested in being in a relationship with a man who is going to lecture me for talking to another man at a party.
No, I really hope that they've worked through these dynamics in their
Because
relationship.
it's not just giving insecure, it's giving controlling.
Yeah.
Like, it's an unsettling dynamic. This is exactly what is so disturbing about Daniel's relationship with Lucy. And I've been really, really rooting for Ollie and AD. And it's really upsetting to see that he is projecting his own shitty, unacceptable behavior onto her and punishing for it when she has given him grace, when she has been loyal, when she has been understanding, when she has been there for him in like every way.
It sucks. So we head into episode 9, and the next morning, Louis, wearing a bucket hat, like with a tie underneath it,
Strange.
assesses the house vibes as not good.
He does a little terrible freestyle to cheer everyone up, in which he
But
rhymes jealous with jealous.
he tried. He tried. Ollie also seems to have slept on things and wakes up realizing that everything was his fault, which it was. He tells AD that he doesn't want to do this with anyone else and that if she wants him to leave, he will. And like poor AD just seems so emotionally beaten down.
Yeah. She's like, I'm walking on eggshells. You're triggered by the smallest things. I can't do it anymore. Like, I'm drained. Like, he is constantly coming at her over these very small things that make him feel threatened, that make him feel like less of a man, like he has less ownership over her. And meanwhile, he feels entitled to put her through like genuine like infidelity.
Yeah.
So he apologizes for overreacting and he's like, I don't know why it bothered me as much as it did. I do. It's called projection. It's called toxic masculinity. It's called double standards. She says, I'm still trying to heal from the betrayal and the lies, but they hug and seem to make up and are starting off again to rebuild. And it's time for a challenge.
I was like, we need it. We've been in some darkness. I need a challenge. And this challenge is called Keeping It 50-50. Each couple has to complete 4 tasks, splitting each task 50-50. And I love this because we love an equitable division of labor.
100%.
Whichever couple does all 4 tasks first in like the least amount of time wins. And the tasks are tire changing, a mystery buffet in which there are like 4 different things you have to eat, a 4-minute cold plunge that they both have to complete, and then they have to build like an inverted pyramid puzzle and they have to switch off like placing the pieces.
If I could note an edit or a suggestion, I wish that they had included a task that men historically do not do 50-50 their part so that we could
I agree.
assess
Like
whether they would
cleaning the dishes
cleaning a
after you eat them all.
cleaning a toilet. Like they each get a toilet that they have to clean. Like when I would love to see how they do. Um but the women are like, okay, like I don't know if I love being 50-50. AD is like, I'm not really a 50-50 girly. If we're at dinner, I'm 0 and he's 100. Bill's in the house, I'm 0, he's 100. So AD's on that like soft girl life. Like I need to
She's
be
like, Ollie
treated
has
right.
put me through enough. He will be paying for all of our joint
Honestly,
expenses.
if it's Ollie, he should be paying more than 100%. The men do the tire change first because obviously masculinity, and that's what men do. And the women
But
are all like really turned on if their man can change a tire because that's so manly.
I will say, though, however, a few of these women, they are fucking great at changing tires. Like AD and Rachel, snap, snap,
Very
immediate.
competent. And like Sandy's really struggling with it. She's like, if you think I'm gonna risk losing a nail over this tire, think again. And Louis is like, I love that she's a princess usually, but like now I'm seeing it might be like useful. I'm like, oh, are you realizing it might be useful to be in a partnership where you both can shoulder any burden?
I will, however, say that both Louis and Sandy are princesses. And so
They
in that
are.
way, it kind of works. And it is also hilarious during a challenge. Sandy cracks me up during the challenges.
Yeah, no, she's so funny. So they head next to the food challenge. There are these 4 cloches, and under each cloche is a dish that you need to eat. There are 4 different dishes. You have to divide them 50-50, but you can't like take all the cloches off and assess. I heard Nick Lachey say cloche so many
I
times.
loved it. I was like, what an elegant word. Thank you, Nick. Say it again.
And now I know what that's called. I never used to know. So the first cloche is salted crickets. The second is churros. The third is a hot pepper. And the fourth is a Mexican fruit that, according to Google, tastes like chocolate pudding.
Oh, I couldn't tell because some of them seem to be enjoying it and
Yeah.
some of them seem to be nauseous.
I wonder if that's partly just because it's weird to eat like a fruit with an unexpected flavor.
Yeah.
But I
yeah.
haven't had it, so I don't know. Like maybe there's something about it that is off-putting.
Or
But
it could
it's
be like,
literally
yeah.
nicknamed like the chocolate pudding fruit or something.
That sounds delightful.
Sounds great. And I think a lot of the women go for the salted crickets because they maybe want to like conserve, like who knows how horrific the other things will be.
Yeah, and I was impressed. A lot of them were just like fucking going for it. AD and Rachel specifically just like right in for the
Right
crickets,
in for
just
the
full
crickets.
mouthfuls.
And then
Sandy and Louis are hilarious because neither of them want to eat the crickets.
Right. And Louis loses and has to do it. They do rock, paper, scissors. And then Sandy snakes the churros right out from under him.
It's so funny.
She goes right for the churros. He's like, we didn't even talk about it. I do feel like the men should just suck it up and eat whatever the women want because they basically all cheated on their girls.
I know. It's like, you deserve this. But it was really funny because Sandy is like daintily eating these churros. And Louis is like, I have crickets in my mouth. I would love a churro.
She basically spends the rest of the challenge eating churros. Like they keep
It's
cutting
awesome.
back to Sand. Like everyone else is at the very end and she's still, he's like, can you please eat the churros faster? And she's like, crunch, crunch, crunch.
This is why I fucking love Sandy.
Love her. Juliet is like deep throating her churros. Like the way that these people handle the churros, I think is very telling of their personalities. Let's put it that way.
Oh, it's delightful.
And then they get to the cold plunge. This to me is like the absolute horror show.
4 minutes.
That's
it's so long. It's such a long time to be in a cold plunge. Oh my God. Poor Lucy. Her body like immediately goes into shock and she starts crying.
Yeah.
And Daniel, to his credits, like the only good thing he does in this batch of episodes, he like talks her through it, is very calm with her, like
I mean, there
offers
has to
her
be
some of his body heat.
there has to be some things that he's doing that has led her to the misperception that he is a kind and caring person.
And I guess like this is one of
We're
those
seeing
things.
one of those things. I love that Juliet at one point is like, why am I even in the cold plunge? Because like they were so far behind. Like, why even?
I think that's what happens to Sandy, that at a certain
Right.
point, she's like, we're not going to win. I'm going to just sit here and eat these churros. Why would I move on to anything
Yeah,
else?
no thanks. Ollie and AD are ahead basically the whole time because they're so quick with the tire changes until the inverted pyramid. This looks really hard. It's like a stone puzzle with the smallest piece at the bottom, and then you have to balance it as an inverted pyramid, layer by layer. And there's collapses when they're almost done with it, which allows Rachel and Ray to finish their pyramid first and pull ahead for the win. And Louis like, I just ate crickets for no reason. And Sandy's like, at least we're dry. So he picks her up and tries to throw her in the cold plunge. And it was so, I was like, I felt like I was watching my late cat, RIP, when we were trying to put her in the carrier for the vet. And somehow the body is contorting and the limbs are like clutching onto the sides and no part of her is touching the water. He's like, how are you not in the water? She's a cat.
She's impressive. She's like, I will be eating these churros and I will not be getting in that cold plunge.
Honestly, she kind of won the challenge.
She did. Look, Louis and Sandy have done this more than once. There was that early challenge where they just like keep making out for fun.
They're like enjoying the challenge is actually winning the challenge in a sense. That night, Rachel and Ray get a lucha libre date and discuss their newfound power. And the first crack sort of starts to show in their connection because she really wants to help her friends be happy in their relationships. And Ray is like, we need to fuck things up. We need to cause chaos so that we can win. And
yeah,
she's
he
like,
has no loyalty to these people.
I
He
will
just got
say
in the
that
house.
I think sometimes Rachel's loyalty, while very admirable, is maybe misguided because I don't know if protecting Lucy's relationship is actually the best thing for Lucy, for
I know.
example.
Well, it's interesting when we'll talk about it when we get to the boardroom.
Yeah.
Back at the house, all of the couples are pretty loved up. Madison is making another joke about impregnating Freddie because she's a seahorse.
I love it.
I still find this joke funny. Scott tells Juliet that he likes her the most because she's a little toxic. Also, he wants a baby by 27. Juliet is currently 27.
She's
and
like, that's
she's
way
like,
too early, but also
no.
all of my friends had kids between 23 and 27.
She's like, that's just not for me at 27. Louis is trying to make things up to Sandy, so he makes her like a very ornate fruit plate. He's like, I'm a menace, but a romantic menace.
Yeah, okay. Okay, Louis. We know what you've been up to lately.
Yeah, we've seen you out on the town.
Yeah.
And he admits to Sandy that maybe he has a tendency to self-sabotage, but he really wants to work on things with Sandy on the outside.
Yeah, Sandy is smitten, and you can see how the Louis charisma works because she's just like, he's hot and funny.
It really does work. It's really effective.
He wants me. And so all of the things that make him like a terrible partner kind of fall away in the face of like, this desirable man is choosing me. The next day, Rachel and Ray put on their neon yellow and green matching outfits and head into the boardroom. On the board, it's dudes, as it should be. The men have had their fun.
Yeah, they're done.
Unfortunately, the dude selection that's left is not great. So we have Clayton, JR, Cody, and Carrington. So we've got like 3 guys right off the jump that I just am not interested in seeing interact with any more women.
That's the thing. No one wants Clayton.
I certainly don't want JR.
I don't want JR, and no one wants Cody. So it's really JR and Carrington are like the only ones who are in play.
And ultimately, I think Sandy is the only one who's open to JR because all the other women are like, when I talk to JR, he just talks about body parts and sex. And Sandy's like, we were basically married and we loved it.
We lived together for almost a month. So we do like know each other.
Yeah. And I think that like that overt sexuality from JR, she responded to it better than the other women. I remember that being an issue in the ultimatum dating period that he came on very strong, but she like loved it. So Rachel's like, we should maybe send Sandy on a date with JR. They have like unfinished business. They've never really explored it. They haven't been on a date together. So let's do that.
And Sandy was really like staying away from him because she was being so loyal to Louis during the mixer.
So they contemplate sending Juliet on a date with Carrington again or testing Lucy's relationship. And this is where Rachel says some interesting things. Like she and Lucy are very close and she really wants good things for Lucy. And she says like, when they're good, Lucy and Daniel, they're great, but he will, you know, pick fights with her over little things, which is like kind of a huge red flag, no?
I just
Do you
feel like
want that for your
Rachel
friend?
understands that Lucy's in kind of a bad position. Like the show is almost over
Right.
and she's been with Daniel the whole time. So sending Lucy out on a date would probably ultimately just create more pain for Lucy.
Right. Like, I think that's ultimately the calculation. I think that Lucy and Daniel need to be broken up as quickly as possible. But I can see what she's thinking. She kind of lays it out a little bit. Like, we could send Lucy on a date with Carrington. They could have a great time. And then she would come back and she and Daniel would have a huge fight. And I'm like, if that's what you think will happen, if you send her on a date and she doesn't even choose the date, you think Daniel would react that way, then you cannot want her to be with Daniel. That's really bad for her. However, you also probably don't want her to deal with Daniel's absurd reaction.
I mean, she's also aware of the fact that filming is almost over,
Right.
right? Like, I do think that's part of the calculus here.
Right. We just got to survive with minimal emotional
Yeah.
pain the rest of filming. So they leave this up in the air. Back at the villa, we get a very prophetic moment between AD and Ollie. They're sitting by the pool, and he's like, this is the life. Like, maybe one day I'll just throw the kids in the pool and let them take care of themselves. Ollie, pool safety. No, you're about to be a dad. Kids do not take care of themselves in the pool. You will
I
not
do
be
think
doing
he
that.
was joking.
I've seen, I get served a lot of news about people's children dying in pools. So just a little PSA, do not throw your children in the pool. They are not self lifeguarding. And she's like, oh, kids? We're going to have kids? And he says, in 8 months and 3 weeks' time. So
Not
this,
quite, but pretty close.
I was also like, I think he's just trying to say that they had sex this week.
Yes, yeah, he's joking. He's like, yep, we
That
had
was
sex.
it. Like,
You're
that
pregnant
was,
now.
yeah. But like, yeah, pretty close.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't know, maybe one day we'll make it permanent. And now they are engaged and having a child. So pretty
Yeah,
permanent.
didn't waste any time.
So Rachel and Ray return to the group and tell Sandy and Juliet that they will be going on dates. And on her way out, Juliet does something that I found quite relatable, which is that she's like saying goodbye to Scott and she's like, love you. Oh, no, wait.
And he's like, everyone's horrified. And I'm like, it's obviously a mistake. What's funny is that Juliet gets in trouble with Scott from both directions. Like at the beginning, he's like, oh, don't say you love me. And then she comes back holding hands with someone else. And he's like, how dare you?
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you want? Do you want her to be in love with you? Or do you want her to hold hands with another guy? Pick one.
So they head off on their dates, and Carrington and Juliet are like, oh, I guess we're going out again.
Yeah, I mean, that really shows you how slim the pickings are at this point. That
No, what else were they going to do? Like, I get why they made this match.
Yeah, like I probably would have done the Lucy thing, but I understand that Rachel wanted to protect her friend from a big argument with her terrible boyfriend. So they're like, okay, this person I already went on a date with, it didn't turn out, but okay, let's give it another shot. And they end up having a good time. They order tacos at food trucks, and Carrington reveals that he has looked into what happens at the end of Romeo and Juliet.
And it's not good. It's a sad ending. He
And
just discovered it.
He's like, Romeo dies. And I'm like, did you read any further? Because Juliet also dies. Spoiler.
I was like, wow, this is yet another indictment of our public education system. Maybe our private education system too. I don't know where Carrington went to school, but you should have read Shakespeare.
One of the most famous literary plot developments
in
the entire English
Actually,
canon.
most people would know what happens to Romeo and Juliet, even if they have not read the play, which most of us have.
I'm hoping he was joking.
I think he was joking, but I wanted to make a joke about our terrible education system.
I mean, the problem is I don't know that he was joking.
It's unclear. It's left ambiguous. Juliet tells the camera that she thinks Carrington might have more experience in the needs of a woman. And then she's like, wait, I meant emotionally.
To be
Not
clear, I would
sexually.
never insult Scott's sexual prowess. He is a very sexually knowledgeable 23-year-old.
But
But she
Juliet is concerned that she's matched up with a 23-year-old. She's like, we're not going to actually be in a relationship. He's 23 and very immature. So maybe Carrington.
Yeah, and everyone back at the villa is trying to make Scott feel better about Juliet being out on a date. And Ollie shares some of his thoughts on masculinity. He's like, emotions? We're men. What do we do with emotions? Suppress them. What do we do with feelings? Bury them. And I'm like, no, you turn them into anger and direct them at women.
He
That
left
we
that
know
part
this.
out.
You have been showing emotion all season. You have just been processing it into toxic rants directed at your wonderful girlfriend.
Men do not believe that anger is an emotion. They need to be
Correct.
taught that anger is an
Like,
emotion.
I'm so tired of suppressing all of my emotions and never showing any emotion. It's just like exhausting that I'm always being so unemotional and yelling at my girlfriend because she talked to another man. So Sandy is, meanwhile, feeling like Louis is her perfect match. But then JR walks in and she's like, I mean, at this point, it's like, how can you be surprised that JR is here? Like, who else were they going to set you up
No,
with?
I
You've
think
met everyone.
she's like, okay, it's JR. And she tells JR that Louis went fucking crazy during the boys mixer. And JR is like, I would never do that to you.
I mean, it's true that I
Maybe.
haven't seen him make out with like anyone, but it's been due to lack of interest on their side.
That's the thing. He has tried. And
Yeah.
JR also brings up a concern that Sandy does have, which is that Louis is young. He is maybe a baby practically,
Yeah.
and she needs a man, an equal.
Yeah. He's like, I never saw you as like a babysitter. That's always, of course, when a man is with an older woman, he's a stud. He's got a hot young thing on his arm. When a woman is with a younger man, she's mommy. She's taking care of a baby. That's her role. And she's like,
Ugh.
okay, yeah, maybe he wouldn't do that to me like the way that Louis did.
I just think Sandy needs someone else entirely
Yeah,
outside of this group of people.
I truly do not believe. I see her relationship with Louis as maybe this is like a fun fling.
Yeah.
With JR,
It's
I
a
don't
failed
even
fling.
a failed fling. Her man is not here, but why not have fun with Louis?
Back at the house, Louis is confident that Sandy will not sway. But the worst case scenario is that she walks in holding hands with the guy. And Sandy does not walk in holding JR's hand, but Juliet does walk in holding hands with Carrington.
Ray's like, holding hands is crazy.
Such Love Island lingo. Everything's crazy
The way
on
everyone
Love
reacts,
Island.
I'm like, she has been paired up with Scott for 12 hours. 24 max at this point. Let her live. And like, I've watched enough of these shows that like, I feel like
The
people walk in
men that we
holding
are
hands
speaking
all
about,
the
of course,
time.
are the men of Perfect Match Season 3.
And so the
And
fact
we
that
are here
everyone
today
reacts,
to
like, the way
discuss
that these little
episodes
codes
7 through
develop
9.
and then
Luckily, it's
become
not a drop of
so,
6 episodes this week.
sort of calcified. Like, obviously, if someone holds someone's hand, they're a bad person. And it's like, well, that's just a little rule that you made up for this specific season of this specific show. People come back holding hands from these dates all the time.
I know. We always
And
suffer when we
Juliet
give
is
a
really
man
put off
credit,
because
and
Scott, who
yet
again
we
she's been
never
paired up with
learn.
for like less than 24 hours, is like fuming. He's being like genuinely kind of hostile to her.
What a bad
Louis
take I had.
and
So before we
Sandy
get into it,
go
a
and
little
chat.
housekeeping. We
It's the
have
final
an
mixer now
episode
that
about all
everyone's
of
back
the
from the
recent
dates.
Love Island
And
gossip,
Sandy
including
tells
Kenny
Louis
and
that she's
Janae's
feeling
breakup,
overwhelmed. The date
Louis
made her get in her
Russell
head because she
allegedly
and JR
dating
have
Huda
history.
Mustafa,
And she
and all
also
of
mentions
the
that JR
drama
wanted
that
her
has
to be
surrounded
wary of
that
Louis.
potential relationship.
And Louis
All
tells her
that
that he
is
only
coming
wants
in
her
an
and no one
episode
else.
at the
And if you
end of
don't
the
believe
week
me,
on
I'm
Rich
gonna wig out.
Text. We simply did not have space for it on Love to See It. So if you want to hear our thoughts on all of that, you can subscribe
like
at
fully disagree with that.
clarentemma.substack.com.
JR and Sandy chat, and JR tells Sandy she's such an amazing person. She deserves to be treated like a queen, like how Ollie treats AD. He's like, you can do better. I'm like, you don't know about the fruit plate that Louis made for her. Okay. You weren't there
Look,
for that, but I
so
saw it.
often people
Meanwhile,
go on
Carrington
press
is ready to
tours
go
when they're
hard
a
for
year out from a
Juliet.
show,
They had a
and
good
they are
date, and
just
she was left feeling like
thoughtful and
maybe we're actually going deeper
self-reflective
than I ever have with Scott. We're
and
talking
have a
about
good
our
sense of
families.
humor
Like,
about
maybe
the
this
things
is
that
legit.
happened.
But
None of
Carrington
that is
also
true
is
for
still
Clayton.
feeling
Somehow
Rachel.
he
He's
came
like
off
into her.
worse in the 2 interviews that I've
It felt
listened to that
sincere
he's
to
done
me.
than he
And
did
he tells
on the
Rachel that
actual
like
show.
he is still like feeling her and wants to be considered. And she's like, actually, Ray and I are like, we're really good together. So I'm gonna stick with that. Yeah. She's pursuing this thing with Ray right now. Scott and Louis chat about how the night's going, and Louis says he might just have to leave the house, and we end on a cliffhanger.
No, it wasn't. And everything that I did was meant to be, and everything I will ever do is meant to be. So how could it be wrong? Also, Rachel was a little too emotional in her reactions. Sir.
So who could it be? I mean,
Sir.
it feels like it has to be Ollie and AD now that they're like the poster child for the season. But I'm curious to see if that's how it plays out in the world of the show. Like, I don't think that people like Madison enough to like people have been kind of coming for her
I was
relationship in a
floored.
little bit. And meanwhile, even though Ollie sometimes treats AD really unfairly, people will be like, "You're my king and queen. Like, I love you." Oh my God, I forgot about them. Jesus Christ. I think they all are starting to clock the problems with how Daniel treats her. Good. Love to see it as a presentation of Odyssey. The show is produced by us.
I
Claire
feel like
Fallon, and
Charlene
Emma
was
Gray.
trying
This
so
episode was edited by
hard
John
to
Bahar.
press
Our
him,
theme music is by
and
Tamar Habib, and
as
our art
a
is by
people
Aaron
pleaser,
Bester.
it's really difficult to remain in opposition to an interview subject for the entirety of an interview.
If you want to get in touch, you can email us at claireandemmapod@gmail.com.
And then saying, I don't understand your point of view at all. Why are you being so emotional?
And I'm at Claire E. Fallon. Special thanks to the team at Odyssey: Eric Donnelly, Aaron Constantino, Kate Rose,
I don't know. I really
Lester,
just,
and Hillary Shook.
all three, like Charlene, Natalie.
Can you keep up? I like